While Russian President Vladimir Putin and the head of Wagner, Yevgeny Prigozhin, were deciding on the fate of the PMC through the mediation of Belarusian President Lukashenko, the war in Ukraine was running its course. Putin and Prigozhin drew a line under the rebellion of the PMC. Wagner's head explained that there was no political goal to overthrow the legitimately elected president, but rather to defend the PMC, which is one of the most effective Russian military units, and to punish those responsible for the failures during the military operations in Ukraine. In his turn, the Russian president concluded that the so-called March for Justice was a betrayal of the Russian people. The fighters of the PMC will not be punished thanks to the victories they brought from the Ukrainian front lines. They have a choice to either sign a contract with the Russian Ministry of Defense and continue fighting, or stop their military activities. Those mercenaries willing to follow their leader can go to Belarus, where the Wagner PMC is expected to continue its operation after some legislative procedures. On the morning of June 27th, a business jet with Yevgeny Prigozhin on board reportedly landed in Minsk. Meanwhile, some reports claim that the Belarusian military began preparing military bases and training camps for the Wagner PMC only 100 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. Despite the disputes between Yevgeny Prigozhin and the Russian military leadership, the Wagner PMC is highly likely to continue its military operations in Ukraine and other countries. The situation on the Ukrainian front lines remains tense. In the Zaporozhye region, the situation has not changed in recent days, since rainy weather does not encourage active hostilities. Positional battles continue both in the direction of Robotyne and in the area of Pityhatke. After several days of continuous attacks in the area of Velikaya Novoselka, the Ukrainian military entered the village of Rovnopol. Russian units withdrew from the settlement and took up defense on the surrounding heights and enforced plantations. In the Kherson region, Ukrainian forces attempt to expand the bridgehead near the Antonovsky Bridge under intensive Russian air and artillery strikes on both banks of the Dnieper River. Meanwhile, Ukrainian saboteurs, coordinated by the Kiev regime, continue their attacks on Russian territory in an attempt to disrupt Russian military supplies. On June 27th, railway tracks in the Kirovsky district of Crimea were slightly damaged. In their turn, Kiev's NATO patrons are escalating the situation, approaching the Russian border. On June 26th, an RC-135 radio reconnaissance and electronic warfare aircraft and two multi-purpose Typhoon fighters of the British Air Force were forced to change their path over the Black Sea after they were intercepted by Russian Su-27 fighter jets.